HIP39, a 1,000 to 1 HNT redenomination proposal. Not only one of the most controversial and debated topics regarding HNT, but this is also the first decision to be made on the Helium network through an on-chain voting system. The redenomination voting has officially opened and is expected to last about another 5 days. In today's video, we will pick apart some of the dialogue we found in the Discord, take a look at Amir Halim's comment regarding this proposal on GitHub, yes, the Helium founder himself, and lastly, indulge in a redenomination that took place over the summer, which happened to be incredibly successful. There's a lot to think about when it comes to this redenomination, and there are a lot of conflicting opinions between community members, miners, and HNT holders. Let's explore some of those opinions, and I will share my reasoning for voting in favor of this redenomination. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please hit the like and subscribe on the way in. It really helps support the channel and I would really appreciate it. In today's video, we have a lot to talk about. The Helium vote is officially open for HIP39 redenomination, a 1,000 to 1 redenomination split that is being proposed, that is being voted on for the first time on the on-chain voting system here at heliumvote.com. Please make sure to get over to this website, submit your votes. Regardless of what you're in favor of, it is important to definitely get over there and vote. As I mentioned in the intro, there's a lot to cover today. We're going to be looking at Amir Halim's comment on GitHub that has a little bit to do with this redenomination, or at least it's in response to someone talking about the redenomination. A redenomination of Bitcoin Cash ABC that took place over the summer that has been incredibly successful, at least for the price of the coin. And of course, we will take a look at the Discord at some people's opinions in there and some interesting dialogue that we found. So when you come to the Helium Vote website, you will come to this page. Obviously, we can see here active votes, HIP39 redenomination. You can click into it, and there is a very brief intro here. This proposal suggests a redenomination of the conversion rate between Bones and HNT. So that they're really breaking it down what exactly is happening. Notice they're not using the term split. That is a very important takeaway from all of this, including even on the GitHub that we'll look at in a second. But this is really is a redenomination of the bones per HNT. Rather than there being 100 million bones per HNT, there will now be 100,000 bones per HNT. This is what will allow for the continuity between all different programs, all different exchanges, all the different on-chain data will now use Bones to HNT as the source of truth for the amount of HNT that is owed, or the amount of dollars per HNT, and all of those kinds of things. That is, I think, why this is making it so clear that it's a redenomination of Bones per HNT. As you can see here, there's about 4 days left, or closer to 5 days left, 837 total votes as of right now, which doesn't seem like a lot considering this was announced yesterday morning. And then if you go down here below, you can see some voting instructions. You actually vote through the app. You take a picture of this QR code with your app and you're able to vote on chain. I believe it costs 15 cents. And of course, you can vote in favor or against. Down here, the preliminary results, we can see 81% are in favor of this redenomination. I can't say that I'm surprised. I'm going to be voting for the redenomination. I will explain why shortly once we take a look at the GitHub and some of the other stuff that we're going to cover. But this is very interesting. I honestly am a little bit surprised based on what I have seen in the Discord with regards to being for this or against it, because I did see so many people that were against this redenomination. They thought it sounded gimmicky. They thought it would make HNT and Helium look like a S-coin and all that kind of stuff, which, look, there is a valid point there, but there is a huge valid argument for the other side as well, which I think we'll get to in this video. So if you go up here, guys, you're able to actually click into here and go directly to this GitHub page where we'll find the HIP39 redenomination. This dives really deep into all of the information that you might need. I encourage you guys to read through this. A lot of information is in here in these few different sections. There's a detailed explanation, a summary, some background and motivation, drawbacks, and implementation. I'm going to cover some of the really interesting things that I found. Firstly being these three motivations. I agree with them very strongly. I think that whoever wrote this and thought this out, obviously credit to JMF here, but he clearly thought this through and has been in the space for long enough, whether it's crypto or equities, and seen how people think and how human psychology plays a huge impact on the market cap of some of these projects, coins, and even stocks, really. So first, he mentions the incentive unit bias. You can have seen, if you've been paying attention in the Helium community for about a year now, since the beginning of the year, people were making about 10 HNT per day, 12 HNT per day mining. And those results, based on the amount of miners that have come online in this year, have now turned into maybe 0.2 a day, 0.1 HNT per day. And that really discourages people, even though it doesn't impact the value, because the HNT price is going up faster than the earnings are going down. So you're actually earning more, but you're earning less in HNT terms. You're earning more in dollar value, but you're earning less in HNT terms. And that really turns people off. People do not like that. And that is just the fact that is the case. A lot of people do not want to earn and look, in a few months from now, people are going to be earning 0.1, 0.01 HNT per day, and that'll be normal, because that's just where we're headed with the scale and the growth of the network. And a lot of people do not like that. And he basically explains that much more clearer and a much better way here. See, he mentions behavioral economics. There's a lot of psychology behind all of this. He mentions, as I tried to explain, he says, as we have seen in Helium, there were very few complaints when gateway owners were earning more HNT at a lower dollar daily mining rate than when they were earning partial HNT at a higher daily dollar rate. So that is the incentive unit bias that he is talking about, that this will address. This will, if you are earning 0.5 HNT per day, that will turn into earning 500 HNT per day. And people like that. So that's what he's trying to explain in number 1 here. Number 2, simplification of unit measurement. This is also a reality in the crypto space. It is a hurdle that a lot of coins face. Operating in very small units does impact performance on the network, does impact the usability. Those small fractions are not fun to work with and are very confusing and are easy to mess up. So rather than sending 0.0002 HNT to somebody, you would send 2 HNT to somebody. I think that is a huge improvement for the network as the network grows and as the price of HNT increases. Third, small token investment bias. This here is what I believe that a lot of people that are interested in the price increase of HNT from an investment standpoint are really pushing for, because this token's investment bias is very true in the crypto space. And of course, yes, people will say that it seems gimmicky once you have a 2-cent coin or a 5-cent coin. That is true. It might look gimmicky, but if the market cap will remain the same, and the second anyone takes a look at Helium, the project, the growth, how it's used, the utility, they will realize it is not like the other S coins, as they call them. That is, all it will do is put HNT on the map for a wider number of investors, because some people just like to buy 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 coins of something. And in history, we have seen that has led to the growth in market cap of so many coins that have done this. And of course, he explains way better than I can right here. As you can see, typically this equates to a higher overall market cap for projects, and in case of Helium, could help increase the incentive rewards, not only in terms of HNT, but also dollars per gateway. He makes a really good point here in using the term incentive rewards, because a lot of people, yes, are buying the coin to sell it at a higher price and make money. But there are this network is built on incentives. And if the price of HNT increases, the incentive for people to set up their own hotspots therefore increases. So it will further increase the growth on the network, help scale the network even faster. It just increases the incentive as the market cap increases. And if the small dollar token investment bias helps improve that market cap faster, then I am all for that. Here is a much more detailed explanation. It gets a little more technical. He talks about the bones and all that stuff, even includes more data down here. And of course, down here are the drawbacks. As we've seen in all HIPs, there is always a drawback section. I think his main point here in this drawback section is when he mentions the gimmicks. A lot of people in the crypto space might look at this as a gimmick to increase market cap, is what he's saying. And of course, that might be true. But as I mentioned before, once anyone takes a look at the project, the growth, the usability, the functionality, the partnerships that are being made, they will realize that this is not a gimmick. It's not an S coin. It is none of those things. He goes on to say, thankfully, that perception is likely to be short-lived, as most individuals have a short memory of splits or redenominations once the new system is implemented. A lot of people don't even remember any of the redenominations or splits that took place over the summer. It's just not something that people harp on for very long. And he also mentions some more technical drawbacks with regards to maybe tax systems and measurements in terms of HNT. So that will have to be addressed. But of course, I'm sure the developers are capable of working through that. Now, I wanted to point this out because this is before HIP 39 was actually merged into the full HIP redenomination. This is sort of a branch of it, if you will. Down here, we can actually see some discussion of people that are both for and against the split. And very interestingly, if we go down here, we actually see Amir Halim commenting here on the GitHub page. Yes, the same Amir Halim, who is the CEO and co-founder of Helium. When I saw this, I was very surprised. This is the only comment I've ever seen from him on GitHub, and he doesn't really address the greater issue here specifically, just very sort of indirectly, and doesn't really give his opinion. So he responded to this guy up here. This person is clearly against the redenomination, and he goes on to say, so they changed the witness count from 25 to 10, and it's a complete lottery as to who is rewarded for witnessing a beacon. Now they are talking about 1,000 to 1 redenomination. So he's against it, and Amir responds by simply saying that what he said is not correct regarding the witnessing. I think he's just trying to discredit what this guy is saying in general. He says you still have to actually witness the beacon to be part of the 10, so this doesn't hurt good setups. It's not some random selection from nearby hotspots. You still need to witness the RF. Then he mentions, with regards to this, he says, just to be clear, this proposal came from a community member. There is no they here, which is also great to see from the CEO and founder of Helium to show that the community members do really play a role here, do have an impact. I thought that was so interesting that he's in here reading this stuff, commenting. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, when this proposal was first introduced, JMF, who is the author of this HIP, wrote this out. And in the previous video, I covered this and I said what I thought about it and how interesting it was and how I already supported it from the very beginning. But the one important thing that I want to highlight again is this first sentence here. He says, the discussion about the split stemmed from a group much larger than myself and includes individuals from multiple stakeholder groups. After some back and forth with them, the general consensus is that a 1,000 to 1 redenomination, 100,000 bones to an HNT versus 100 million now, would make more sense than 100 to 1. There are a few things that go into this reasoning, including. So, as you can see, he's the author, but he's mentioning how he mentions the individuals from multiple stakeholder groups. He's basically saying the seed founders, the venture capitalists, the company, the insiders, all of those people are more in favor of a 1,000 to 1 redenomination rather than the 100 to 1 that was originally proposed. These people who are making these decisions, who are this group that he's talking about, are very smart people. They know that this redenomination will help drive adoption, growth, increase the speed at which the Helium network scales, because the incentives will be higher based on the increase in market cap that having a 5-cent HNT again will drive. Now, guys, of course, as I mentioned in the intro, this is a very debated topic, and it's also a confusing topic. A lot of people don't fully understand what is happening or how these kind of redenominations work, or if they're the same as stock splits or not. As you can see here, this is one interesting dialogue between a few members of the Discord here that are talking about it, and this person says it could increase market cap and ultimately reduce the value of HNT, vote against its redenomination. And then there's a further discussion about this. And there's a lot of back and forth here, but it seems that a lot of people just have misinformation, and that's why they might be voting against this redenomination. It doesn't devalue the market cap of Helium at all. It's just redenomination. It's just redenominating what makes up one HNT, which is on the network and on the blockchain is called bones. As you can see here, someone is trying to explain, no, it is not any more or less scarce. As you can see in the Discord here, a very interesting point made that I think a lot of people share this opinion. He says, honestly, makes Helium look like a coin. $47 is insanely better than 47 cents. Now, actually, it wouldn't even be 47 cents. It would actually be 4 cents. So that is one, I just mentioned that. It would actually, a 1,000 to 1 would be 4 cents rather than 47 cents. But he's making the point here where it's going to make HNT or helium look like an S coin. That is, I think, the biggest concern, that people think it's going to be a gimmick. I think that's the biggest argument against this. And then, as you can see down here, someone mentions the preliminary results and says 81.64%. Respectfully disagree. I think that really sums up the people that are voting against this. I think that's their biggest argument. I think that's their best argument also. And look, I do agree, from outside looking in, if you don't actually take a look at helium, it will look like an S coin, but it will still be in the top 50 coins by market cap. The market cap ranking will be the same. Regarding timing, there's some very interesting dialogue here. Somebody asked JMF, who's the author of this, who does discuss with the larger players here in the helium community. They ask timeline on implementation, assuming a yes vote. He says, honestly, will come down to what the dev team's schedule looks like. There are arguments for trying to get it in during 2021 and also for waiting for January 1st. So no real answer there, but if it's a yes, it sounds like Jan 1 would be the farther out option. But really, there's a lot of discussion here. Some of it is really interesting dialogue, some people trying to understand it, other people's just blurting out their reasonings. Stuff like that, but really interesting stuff. I always recommend checking out the Discord to see how people are feeling. Now, we are going to look at a recent redenomination that has sent a coin from a 250 so coin by market cap all the way up to where it is today at rank number 55. As you can see, this article from July 2021 is discussing Bitcoin Cash ABC rebrands to eCash and embraces proof of stake and 2 decimal places. So, of course, this also was a sort of rebrand, a change in the name and everything like that, but it ultimately was a redenomination of the token so that it wasn't so unattractive to people looking at. If you guys aren't familiar, Bitcoin Cash ABC is a breakout from Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, and they then rebranded and redenominated to form eCash or XEC. And here is an argument that is made that is actually similar to the one that we reviewed earlier in the GitHub. And it says, no other money has 8 decimal places. Why should cryptocurrencies with a lower unit price also enjoy higher bull market appreciation? Because the eCash team is incentivized by both tech and price improvement. This improvement was a no-brainer. As you can see down below, they mentioned the actual coin ranking by market cap. And at the time of this writing, Bitcoin Cash ABC ranks 217th with a market cap of 587 million. And if we go here today, eCash or XEC, which is the former Bitcoin Cash ABC, is now ranked 55 with a market cap of 3.8 trillion. Guys, that is insane, just from a rebranding and a redenomination split here. So guys, let me know what you're going to be voting. Let me know what you think, what you agree with, what you don't agree with, how you will be voting, everything in between. Comments down below. Let me know. I'm very interested. I'm going to be voting very shortly in favor of this redenomination. But again, thank you all so much for being here, so much for listening. Please like and subscribe if you have not already. It really helps support the channel. I'll really appreciate it. But just like that, this video is over, and I will see you